So I heard I heard of CCSF from Martin Falk. It was the original Swede. He played with the old troop. There we go. Sorry, I just linked his name.
Derek.
Derek. Yeah, so he came over. He's the first Swedish guy. We played in the same club at home. I was looking to go over and see where do I belong playing football in the States. Talked to him, got in contact with Coach Nuno, who more or less was like, yeah, come on, let's go. Let's get it done. Came over, and just kind of from there, just kind of tried to prove my worth. Didn't know if I was going to be D2 or D1 or wherever I was going to end up. Took me all the way to Oregon State. So that's kind of that route that I went with City College. Loved it ever since. Still stay in contact with everybody. So, yeah.
Isaiah, you heard Desmond talk about the culture, Coach Grant talk about the culture. What was it like? Obviously, these guys were here in the early OLs, 02, 03. You were here a little later from Berkeley High School. What did you know about the culture when you stepped into City College of San Francisco?
Yeah, so coming from Berkeley High, it's a big school, but I wouldn't say that they have a big football culture. When I got to City, like I seen that, and I took a couple visits. I went to Laney, DVC, Contra Costa County, but the one thing that stood out about City was the professionalism. Like the winning culture from when Desmond played in 02 and 03, it lasted until when I played, and it lasted even after I played. And you can see that from the way people do business, from the way people coach. I remember going up into the top of the stadium, and I hadn't even introduced myself, and I just said, I'm just gonna sit there and watch how they practice. And it was like military, not in a bad way, but in terms of like just uniformity, people being punctual, people having a sense of urgency, and I think that it starts with the top down. And I think the beautiful thing too about City College is these coaches have been here for years, and they all been coaching with each other for years. Like coming here, it was like walking into a family that was already established. So that the culture was the reason why I came here. So yeah.
Good stuff, and we'll get to you in a second because I want to know how to navigate the social media era of football. I know Dez and Tim, you guys are a little young. We didn't have social media back in 02, 03. The internet was just being born here. We're coming from Stockton, from the 209. You come out here to City College, they have running backs. I mean, they had so many running backs in this program. You come here, you run for over 1,300 yards, you become an All-American, you ended up at Temple. And one thing that I noticed when I first started covering this program was you go in the coach's office, you go in the hallways, you see all these players at different schools, Baylor, Ohio State, Oklahoma. Like, wow, they're sending everybody everywhere. Was that something that drew you here to City College, knowing that they had a reputation of sending guys, not only D1, but D2 as well?
You know what? No, I didn't know nothing about City, right? I was just on B. Davis that. I played at a school called Franklin on the east side of Stockton. And it was like East Side High. And I just remember, saying, I'm going D1. I'm going D1. And we had to take SATs back then. You ain't got to do that now. And you get like an 800 for spelling your name right. I got an 18, so I was like, oh, it's ugly. It's ugly. And so the one coach who reached out to me was from Butte. So I'm like, man, I guess I'm gonna go to Butte. I didn't even know what Butte was. So I was like, I guess I'm gonna go there. And I went to Louisiana for 2 weeks, came back home, and my dad was like, "Better pack your bags." I was like, where? He was like, "You going to San Francisco City?" So I'm like, huh? So we get back Saturday, Monday, we drove to San Leandro where my sister stayed, and I had to get home to work, come to practice Monday. I didn't know nothing about it. It was crazy, it was foreign to me, right? Just the whole Bay Area lifestyle. And when I got here, I was probably like 5th on the depth chart. And so I was like, dang, I don't even know if I'm gonna play, man, this is crazy. And when I walked through the hallways, I saw all the good stuff. And, I remember Shepard was probably one of the first guys I met. He played running back here. Coach Neal remember Shepard. He was 6'2", right? And I'm like, oh man, I know I ain't playing. That's and first day of practice, we out there grinding, man, and it was just a different culture. And I didn't experience that in high school. You know what I mean? And so I remember calling my dad saying, "Hey, Dad, I think I'm ready to come home." Right? Because, man, they were out here working way too hard. And he was like, "Nah, just stick with it, Tim." My mom said, "What God has for you is for you, and can't nobody change that." And so I stuck with it the whole way through, man. And by week 4, I was starting running back. And I never looked back. You know what I mean? And so it was just an amazing culture. And I know everybody's speaking about that, but what he said stuck with me. It resonates with me the most. It was family. right? Like, it was family. We walked to the bar, we ate together, we went to class, like, it was just family, man. And, we ended up going to America Samoa, my second year here. And it was just family, man. The Samoans took us in, and that season was our best season. We went undefeated that year, won the title and whatnot. But the key word was family, man. Everybody had each other's back. If you fight him, you got to fight me. You know what I mean? And that's just what it was. And so we really grew together, and it was one of the best times of my life.
And I hear that a lot from these players, and family is something you're gonna hear all the time. Larry Grant is still here. Coach Newton, I've been knowing him forever. Baki, who's back in the equipment room, back in Samoa, he's been here forever. He's been here maybe 35 years. It's always a family atmosphere. Whenever you bring up city, they're like, oh, city, oh. You don't even have to think about that. You say city. And people know you mean CCSF, San Francisco Rams. So Derek, when you got here in 06, 07, correct?
05.
05. Great surgery.
I tried to tremble off the path. I tried to go to Sierra College because I wanted to get out of the Bay Area at first. And try to go do my own thing. Everybody else was kind of running the DVC and other places, but the head man, George Rush, he was very persistent into making sure that I came to City College. So one night, while I was at Sierra College in Rockland, which is past Sacramento, I didn't like what was going on there, and I called him at midnight. He called me back. He was like, show up here on Monday. I'll have your classes ready for you. And I got your locker for you too. So that just shows you the testament of the program from top to bottom, right? I came from Pittsburgh High. I was catching BART every single day at 5 in the morning to get here to San Francisco so I could be in class by 8 o'clock. Obviously, we weren't supposed to take 8 o'clock classes because it's very hard for kids to get up in the morning, right? So we changed it to 9 for me. But either way, I was taking that journey 2 to 4 hours every single day just to get back and forth to school. And we're talking about a junior college program. And the reason being was he held you accountable. I didn't want to make Tim fail. I didn't want to let down my coaches because they pour so much into you here. You get what I'm saying? When they say City College Ram, that really resonates. It really means something. You know what I mean? It could be a kid in a program. Now, 10 years from now, if Larry calls me, he's like, hey, we need help with a City College Ram, regardless of where they at, we gonna do something for them. You know what I mean? But anyway, back to my point. When I got here, it was 05, 06. Obviously, I had the gray shirt. I think thought I was gonna come in here and start, you know. I needed to grow up a little bit. So I had Maurice Purify, who ended up going to Nebraska. Aaron Strayton, who ended up going to UNLV. Roberto McBean, who ended up going to Purdue. So me as a freshman coming out of high school who had offers, but I couldn't pass the SATs, right? Which was the issue. I'm thinking, you know, my ego, I'm gonna come in here and play, you know? But no, that wasn't the case. You had to come in here and buy into this program. And what you put into it is what you get out of it. You know what I mean? And we work every single day from top to bottom. And the good thing about City College of San Francisco is it's a player accountability program. You know what I mean? If somebody's not doing the right thing, your teammate gonna be like, yo, come on, that's not a representation of us. You know what I'm saying? And we all carry that through life. You know what I mean? Especially now. And that was the greatest decision I made in my life, was to come here at City College San Francisco.
He's made a great point. What you put in is what you get out of it. Coach Grant right here, his Buckeyes are celebrating the national championship. Think about that. From this program, he ended up in Columbus, Ohio. That's crazy, right? But you can make that happen here. And so, but it's a different time now, right? You got to navigate social media, Twitter, Blue Sky, Instagram, and people are constantly talking to you. People are saying the wrong things about that. When I asked Isaiah, you grew up in the social media era. You played here during the social media era. What's the most difficult part about navigating your play, your performance, and then going online, seeing somebody talking smack about you, knowing that, boy, if I reply, I may get in trouble with the team, and may cost me a scholarship. Let these guys know how it's so difficult to navigate through that era right now.
Yeah, I would say, and even when I was at Arizona, it's a lot more media coverage. A lot of people talk on Twitter. There's a couple teammates that had burner accounts and would reply and stuff like that. I think the main thing is just keep it professional, because you represent more than yourself. You represent your family, you represent your teammates. you represent your coach's parents, and so like the social, I'm sure everybody here have probably had social media that's being recruited. You gotta be your best self on there at all times. I don't think it was that difficult necessarily, especially being in this program because how high the standards are. But it is something that you do have to be mindful of. You know, the way you portray yourself, the way you comment, the way you speak to people. But while I was here, there wasn't any problems with social media with guys on the team that I could recall. So.
And that's a good thing, right? Because that stuff can get you in trouble. It's good to post the highlights, good to retweet your team's success or whatnot, but get into it and talking smack and everything like that. I've seen people, you know, end up on the wrong side of things dealing with social media. So I know you coach 7-on-7, you got your 7-0. Is that something you preach to your kids?
Yeah, 100%. I mean, how you do anything is how you do everything, right? So it's almost like we got to have some purpose and intent behind what it is that we're posting because we're offering this to the world, right? You know what I mean? You don't want to put some half-ass stuff out there, excuse my language, or you don't want to overcompensate for your ability, you know what I mean? So you put in way too much stuff out there in terms of highlights, like you were saying. Sometimes you might be overselling yourself to the coaching staff and they've already made their decision on you, you know what I mean? You just be purposeful and intentful with whatever you do on social media, right? Because it's gonna trickle down, right? Or you might show a flaw that they didn't know, you know what I mean? So make sure that you're doing everything 110% and there's a purpose and an intent behind it.
Tim, let me ask you this. What's the biggest misconception about playing at a JUCO? And then once you got here and you got out of it, you're at Temple, and people were asking about junior colleges. What would you explain to them, and what was the biggest misconception about it?
I think the biggest misconception was that, you know, it's not football, right? It's lower level football. And that's what a lot of people think, like, junior college, you gotta be sorry. You must be sorry if you go on a JUCO route, right? Totally not the case. When I was here, we had guys coming back from Texas and Nebraska and all these other schools, right? The biggest issue was grades, right? From people with SAT or guys being at a Division I or a Power 5, and they just didn't make grades that freshman year. So coaches said, hey, I'm sending them to San Francisco City, right? So you had all these guys showing up that were dudes. So what I tell guys now is like, it's a different time, it's a different era, right? Your mind gotta be on something different. But your true test of character, if you want to play football or not, go to JUCO route, right? That'll let you know if you really made for this, if you really built for this. You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
Because it's different, man. It's different.
It's different. Late nights,
Yeah.
top Robin nights, the McDonald's down the street. They knew my name after a while, man. Ordered big tickets to McDoubles, but that adversity helped me in my career. So when I'm doing the media thing now and things get a little hairy, I'm like, dude, that's nothing. I've been through the tough times. Des, talk about your tough times, because you ended up going to Cal Berkeley after City College of San Francisco. How much easier was it academically for you? I guess easier is not the word, but how much did you have that perspective saying, you know what, I got this. Already been through the tough times.
Real quick, can I touch on something? When I actually got to Cal, it was a linebacker there. It was still my good friend, Worrell Williams, who went to Grant, who was coming out of high school. He had every scholarship, you know, in the world for him. He could have went anywhere. He ended up going to Cal, and we would have conversations. He was like, you know what, I'm kind of jealous that you was able to go to City College and get into that grind and grit and kind of learn it, because going right from high school, jumping into a big time program is hard, right? Especially mentally and physically, right? Some of y'all just coming out of high school, 17, 18, it's just the genetic, it's just the biology, like, you know what I mean? You're not ready, and then when you go to those big programs, especially now, you're going to go play with guys who 25, 26, who already, you know, got kids and everything. So sometimes it's good to start at a JUCO, maybe even gray shirt, get your body and get your mind ready. So then now when I got to Cal, I hit the ground running, and I would joke, and it really wasn't a joke. I was like, my city team could beat our Cal team, like, you know what I mean? So it's smart sometimes that JUCO is not a bad thing. Even most kids, when they do go to the big time programs, they got a red shirt anyway, right? So it's a good good chance to get your feet wet. And then what was your question on the other?
Just how much you basically answered it, because you got the Cal and you're like, oh, the tough part is over.
Yeah.
I got 2 years here. I'm at Cal. I've already done all the hard classes or what.
Right.
But to your point, the benefit of going to JUCO and then going to D1, where you're like, oh, this is a breeze.
Yeah. Oh yeah. And then in that you get, cause it's all system, right? Going to class, picking what time your class is, what time practice is, and then you just figure out your system and then you just work it. So once here, you know, at the beginning, you gotta kind of find your way, like, no, I don't like that 8 o'clock too early. Let me get 9, right? So you figure all that out here. So once you figure out your own system, once you go to the next level, you really just hit the ground running.
You hit the ground running on what you want to do. You may want to be a business major. You want to be a broadcaster. You want to be, you want to work in science. You get all that stuff done right here. So by the time all the prerequisites, all the general education stuff, so by the time you go to D1, as Desmond said, you hit the ground running, and boom, you're out of there in 2 years with a college degree and playing football, and you may get drafted. You may go to the CFL, which there's no knock. Tim Brown won a Grey Cup up there. I know Simon played up there. And so when I think about City, the other thing too about this program, it's not just football, right? You're gonna be here, but I think these other teams at this program pushes the football team. So the football team has set the standard for years. National championships, state championships, guys going D1. But now you look at the basketball programs, you look at the soccer programs, and everybody's pushing each other. Simon, did you get that same sense when you were here, that everybody was kind of pushing each other in this building?
It was very much that way, and it was a very tight-knit athletic department, not just the football team. You kind of saw that leak in the family, as we already talked about, leak over to all the other sports teams. It was a lot of interaction between soccer, basketball, and it's kind of that banter, the friendly banter, but to push each other. And because they did it to us too. They would come and watch our football games and give us banter. We lost one game, oh, you never heard that. And that was just how it is, and that's kind of the culture that's leaked over from how successful the football team has been over the years. So you're really driving the school, and they're building and they're expanding. I know, like, you guys were all talking about, like, this wasn't here when you guys played, and like, look how nice these facilities are now. Like, I didn't know the dirt road that you guys were talking about. I have no idea what that was. This is what I knew, but like, you guys were reminiscing about that, and it's just, that comes from the family, from everybody who's driving to get better.
Simon makes a good point. They lose one game, it's a big deal around these parts. I was a sports editor on school paper. That year, City had lost 3 games, 3 of the first 4 games of the season. They hadn't done that in 20 years. So in our headline, it was like, Val but not beaten, City falls to 1-3. Well, I couldn't walk in this wellness center. I was scared for my life, because I was like, how could you write something about us like this, man? We've been carrying this program and yada, yada, yada. And I was like, well, it speaks to the greatness here. You guys lost 3 games for the first time in 20 years. That speaks to the level of excellence, and then by that next year they're winning championships again or whatnot. So the standard, as you guys said, is set very, very high here, which is what you guys should want, right? You guys should want to compete at the highest level, compete against the best athletes to get the most out of this. Now coming back, because I got to ask you guys are all from different generations. You talked about family, but what are some of the other reasons why you like to come back and give back to this community and to this program?
I mean, shit, I owe it my life, to be honest with you. If it wasn't for this place, I probably wouldn't be here having this conversation with you, I think City College means more to me than a lot of stuff outside of my family, faith in God, right? But if it wasn't, like I said, if it wasn't for this place, if it wasn't for George Rush, Nunio, Coach Socrates, Perotti, Bolano, Hayes, all these guys, Larry, obviously, he took me in. I wanted to leave so many times, you know what I mean? Like, I'm coming from Pittsburgh, you gotta understand, that's an hour and 30-minute BART ride, right? And we don't have no money. I'm sneaking on BART every single day, just to make sure that I don't let him down, my coaches down, my team down, moving forward, you know what I mean? Because they had to count on me every day in practice, and whatever anybody needs from this family, City College of San Francisco, I'm here for it. And if I don't know somebody, he might know somebody, and if he doesn't know somebody, Des might. This is a family, and it's supposed to be like that. It's a brotherhood for real. And if you ever need anything, please don't hesitate to reach out, because once a Ram, always a Ram.
Yeah, it's funny. Derek, he's one of those guys who kind of like me, where I forget where I went D1. I went to San Francisco State, but I'm on bio, it's always Ram logos, and I feel like this was my school. They really helped me grow up. Tim, what about you, man? Because you went to the CFL, you played at Temple, you got the East Coast vibe out there. Why do you always come back here to help out this program?
You know what, man, I was called to do it, right? I think God allowed me to experience and have those experiences so I can bring it back, right? Like he said, he traveled 30 minutes, I traveled an hour to almost 2 every day. You know, we stayed in Stockton, my sister stayed in San Leandro, and I'd have to get on the BART, it was an hour ride every time, you know, and so I had to get here at 6 in the morning every day for my 7 o'clock or 8 o'clock class. And we jumped over BART every day, you know, every day. I didn't have $1, you know what I'm saying? You know, and it was different, man. And so I was you guys, right? I was coming in, I was trying to figure out my life. And that was a big thing. My daddy worked at General Mills in Lodi. My mama was a teacher. My daddy was also a pastor. And so he just said, man, get it now. I don't care where you go, right? Just go get a scholarship, Tim, because we ain't got no money for school, right? And so I understood what I was up against. You know what I mean? And the moment I came here at 17 years old, I was a really young senior. I was 17, my freshman year of college football. And I just didn't know. I was like, man, I know I want to go to the league, right? I don't know though, for real. Like, I don't really know what life is. And so I'm looking at all you guys right now, you're trying to figure out life, right? Well, we're here to help navigate that for you guys. We're here to help you. You have an amazing establishment that's going to help you, and it's going to give you time to figure out what it is that you want to do. The one thing I can say though is, man, daily, you know, weekly, monthly, get on the knees and pray, right? Ask God to just continue to guide you, right? Be that light underneath your feet every day, that He's steering you in the right direction. You know, that your will aligns with His will for your life. And that's why I feel like I've been called to do this, because I understand what you guys are up against, right? I understand that if this don't work out for you, that Amazon gonna be blowing your phone up to come work, right? I know that. You know what I'm saying? Tesla gonna be calling, because they're the only jobs that people got out here right now. You know, and especially if you don't have any education, this stuff is real, man. And so we just here to help you navigate life right now.
Isaiah, speaking of education, you got your master's, correct?
Yeah, yes, sir.
I mean, that's big time, man. Give it up. This guy got his master's. When you got here, was that always the goal to, like, yeah, I know you want to play football, you want to go to the league, we all want to win Super Bowls, but where's the master's come in? Because I think that's a huge development in these young kids. Because not everybody's going to make it to the league, let's just be honest.
Yeah.
Not everybody's going to make it to high level D1. But to get that education, especially as a brother in a minority, I think that's major, man. So
Yeah.
discuss that.
Yeah, I'm the first gen graduate. Like my mom, she did like a semester at Sac State, but outside of that, there wasn't any college in my family. So even coming to the city, it was like I had the opportunity to change that. And I'll be honest, like a master's degree was not even on my, you know what I mean? Like I was like everybody else probably up here, like I was trying to go to the league. And I knew that I kind of, I had a knack for school. I'm not saying that I tried my hardest in school, but it wasn't too bad, I guess you could say. And so coming to, obviously, City College, San Francisco, it was different with the grind. Like I was on BART like everybody else, hopping BART, hour and a half. And with that dead time, I started reading. And so I started looking up business, and I started reading business books. And so that got my mind rolling. So if it wasn't for me riding on that BART train and reading those business books, I wouldn't have had the appetite to go get a master's degree in real estate development, which I have it in. And that's a testament to here. And like everybody else is talking, it was a grind. Like I was waking up at 6 o'clock in the morning. I was catching BART, 40-minute ride. I would catch BART after we would go to school, have practice. I would catch BART to my job and go work to 12, 1 o'clock in the morning, and then go home, and then wake up and do it again. And so when I got to the University of Arizona, and all they tell you is, oh, you go to football practice, and that's it.
It was amazing.
It
was easy, right? It made life
way easy.
It was like, oh, this is all I gotta do.
You got all these academic tutors, you know, sitting with you, making sure that you're doing your homework, they keeping track of your assignments. Like, I was like, man, like I was having to do all this here in school and still get my grades right. Then when I get to University of Arizona, it was a cakewalk. And so I was like, man, if I could do it there, if I could get a bachelor's there, I can get a master's. And honestly, it's funny, I had my best grade point average of my life in my master's program. So it's doable for everybody in this room. Like I would definitely use football, whether you go to the league or not, use that as a springboard to go get your degree. And if you're lucky enough to get it paid for, that first degree, even if you don't get your master's paid for, I would just pay for it. Cause you know what I mean? You might as well, it's a year or two, extra school, but it'll set you up, for life, seriously. And so like, yeah, like I'm an anomaly in my family. And I'm thankful to really City for that, for giving me that platform.
That's big time. Now, Mr. International side of it,
Yeah.
from Sweden,
Yep.
City,
Yep.
Oregon State.
Yep.
Just talk about your experience, man. Now, when you call back home and they say, well, where were you? You didn't go to, Miami or Florida State, City College, San Francisco. What was that conversation like when you told your parents you were coming out here? to JUCO?
That was an interesting one for sure. So I always wanted to go and play in the States. That was kind of the dream. Started playing football when I was 13 in Sweden. It's not a big football city, country, whatever you want to call it. It's not big. So I just wanted to experience and more or less try to chase a dream. Play pro football, play college football, whatever that was. So started having the conversation, started researching, doing all this. And I was just gonna say, like, oh, I'm gonna move to San Francisco. And they were like, okay, why? I wanna go play football. Okay. And then 2 days after I graduated high school, I was here. It was 2 days later.
What was that culture shock like?
Yeah, I got picked up. I got picked up by Coach Nunez and just like I arrived and kind of like talked about it. And he took me to Mexican. I never had Mexican before, so I was like, okay, this is great. I love it. I like this already. And no, it came over and just kind of, it was just chasing a dream and just kind of really staying in it every day. I came over with a big drive to try to be successful, and that's kind of what you have to do to take it away from here. It's not just like, okay, you might really have the drive in high school, don't let it die. Because you get through a junior college, everything else, like we already talked about, it gets a lot easier. You keep that drive going, you go far. And I think everybody here can attest to that. Like if you keep the drive from junior college all the way through D1, pro, whatever that might be, into professional careers, it keeps it going so much better and it makes it so much easier for you because you're already in it. You know what to do every day, you know where to go, you know what to really like put your time to, not that you don't, like you wanna have fun along the way, but like you don't wanna just screw off, whatever. You kinda know where to go, you know where the directions are, and stay true to it. And that's-
Can I add something else? Because what he say is different, like when I went to Arizona, like in JUCO, everybody has that drive. Like you're not here if you don't have that drive. So that benefited me a lot, like being with other people that had the drive and that mentality to go achieve something. And by the time I got to Arizona, it was like, there was dudes that, they third, fourth on the depth chart, they're not, like walking around almost like zombies, no drive. And you looking like, man, like, I'm coming from JUCO, I'm like, you're not grateful that we are staying in these nice hotels.
Like how you get here?
How'd you get here? So like, it's really like an iron sharpen iron. Like everybody has that drive in this building, and it really set me apart once I got there because I could work, and it was just like second nature to me. Like I wasn't.
No, it's a good addition because that's like that you bring that up because I think all of us noticed that.
Yeah.
After being here and had that drive and like really needing that, the next part wasn't as bad.
Well, how cool was it? Go ahead.
To piggyback off of that, it's almost like a reward at the end of this tunnel.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because now you don't gotta hide to sneak on Bart. You know what I'm saying? You don't gotta. I'm telling you, me and that man right there would walk across the street and go get this styrofoam fried rice. Bro used to put for $5, we $2.50, and we would split that. That'd be the only thing we ate for the day. You know what I'm saying? Just to be here at practice. But what I'm saying is that end of the tunnel, you get there, this shit, it lifts a weight off your shoulder because now you got a roof over your head. You know you got training table. You got people that's gonna help you. You can't fail. The only way you fail in college is if you don't show up to class. You got people sitting in class helping you with your shit all day long. That's their job. You know what I mean? And then you see that, and then you're grateful for that, and then you take all that work ethic and everything that you've taken from this place here, and you take it and run with it. You know what I mean? And it's just a way to piggyback off of what he was saying, it's just a way to, like, your hard work. Like, damn, this easy? Yeah, it is. But we had to go through that so you can be grateful for that opportunity.
That's so cherishing the bus rides here, when you guys get on that bus and you go play down in San Mateo, or you're playing DVC, or you're playing Laney, and then you get to that next level, and you're like, wow, I'm on a flight, I'm in a hotel room, I'm like, but I even think about it as a media member, where I was getting paid $10 an article, covering high school sports out here, and now doing what I'm doing. I still think back to these days, like, these are some of the best times of my life. I still talk about the times here covering, you know, them city beating Mount Sac in a wild state championship game right here. Watching them go down to San Mateo and outlast the Bulldogs down to CSM. The basketball team winning their first state championship in 2011. I still remember that like it was yesterday, because of that grind of just like, I wasn't getting paid for it, it was for the love of it. And I think these guys right here are telling you, like, man, if you really love it and you really want to do it, forget about the money right now. Forget about the luxurious hotels and flying on a plane where you got all the team gear and whatnot. Embrace these moments here, this grind, because as all these gentlemen said, at the end of the tunnel, it's gonna be worth it, man. It's gonna be so well rewarded. You're gonna look back and say, I'm glad I did that. I'm glad I went this route. Especially if you have to go this route. Dez, obviously, Green Bay Packer, got to play in the Super Bowl. And you got to represent City. I remember watching some of your post-game interviews, and I think even when they had the starting lineups on NBC Sunday Night Football, you would say, Desmond Bishop, City College in San Francisco. Think about that. This guy was playing in the Pac-12 at Cal Berkeley, going against Stanford, USC, UCLA, Oregon State, and this guy's on Sunday Night Football as a starting linebacker of the Green Bay Packers, helping them win the Super Bowl, saying, Desmond Bishop, 56, City College, San Francisco. Says it all.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, when they ask you in the interviews, I'm like, what college you go to? I'm like, I'm representing CCSF. So it's just a testament to this place, what it does for you. And you know, as y'all get older, people gonna ask you, what was the most fun? Like high school, college, you know. And the most fun I had playing football was right here at City College. You know, high school was cool, it was great experience. College was great, NFL was great, but it's no place like City. Like playing here, just the atmosphere, all of the things we had to go through is hands down the number one. So when they asked, I had to represent San Francisco City College in my, you know, in my bio and everything. I had to give it the love that it deserved.
And I think every Ram that's been in this program all around the world, they would see that and be like, City, you hear that? City College. So that's pretty cool. Any messages to the parents that are going to allow their kids to come to this program and put them in the hands of Larry Grant, Coach Nuno, and Feliciano? Any message to the parents? Because I know a lot of parents, they want their kid to go high, and he shouldn't go to a junior college, because there's this big misconception that if you go to JUCO, you're a failure. And you're not. You're just, hey, you're starting from scratch. You're going to get your hard work done here at City College of San Francisco, and then move on to D1. There's no shame in that. But any message to the parents, what would you tell them as they allow their kid to go to a JUCO?
Pray for your baby and get out the way. Straight up. You know what I mean? As my parents did. Pray for your baby, man, and I understand that the Lord has a covering over your child, and then just get out the way, right? Let your baby go play, man. You know what I mean? You can't, you know, when you get to this level, that was a cool thing, right? Like now you see all these parents fighting with the coaches and coming out of the stands. You can't do that at City. Yeah, like you jumped on. You know what I'm saying? Different lifestyle up here. So parents was like, George Russell not talking to your dad. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. It's big time football here. Right? Coach Neal's not talking to your parents after the game. Like they getting out of here, man, we're gonna go watch film or do whatever, but it's different. So just pray over your child, let them be, and just know that they're gonna be all right up here, right? And I'm gonna tell you what was cool about City was, when I got here my freshman year, we had 80-something guys show up that first day, right? And we had some dudes that was D1 guys. And I never forget this. Coach Rush brought guys in, and he always spoke to you individually, and he said, hey, you're not gonna make it here, but you might make it at your bowl. So he told you before you even wasted your time, right? Like, hey, this might not be the spot for you. I'm just letting you know that right now. You was a dude that had all these offers, and you like, what you mean? Right. This ain't the spot for you. So before you waste your time, I'm just letting you know right now, you know what I mean? Hey, I wish you the best of luck.
Yeah. I was gonna say kind of piggyback on that, but I think the one thing that I feel here that I think my parents would be proud of is the love from the coaches. Like I said, these guys been around for so long. They got a tight bond. They got honesty. They got integrity. Like once y'all, I pray that all y'all make it to the level above this. But once y'all get there, like I can't expect that. Like y'all can't expect that loyalty. Y'all can't expect coaches to be honest to you. Like they're coming here. There's no hidden agendas. Like, they just wanna win, and they love seeing, I don't know if y'all still got the pictures up in the coach's office with all the guys.
Yep.
Like, man, it's like hundreds of dudes been through here, get to the next level. Like, that's all they care about, is getting dudes to the next level. So like, I would say that, like, your child is in great hands. And if you want them to be looked after and have honesty preached to them, like you said, like, this is the place to be at, so. Yeah.
Any last words, anybody?
Yeah, this is the last place before it's really about to get business. It's still business right now. Y'all gotta treat your bodies like a business as best as you can. But after this, it's gonna become a business, and once that business get involved, all of that family stuff, that's out the window, and you on your own.
Yeah.
So like, embrace this time right now, because it's special. And at the end of the day too, is all the talking and everything is all nice and good. But if you do come here, bro, you better be playing. Like, you gotta be good. Like, and that part is between you and you. You know, we can't, all the words in the world, we can talk to you till your ear fall off. But if you ain't self-motivated and you ain't a go-getter and you ain't really putting in the work to become the best version of yourself, then we these wasted words. So if you come here, bro, be ready to go, because it's winning.
Thank you.
Last
Go
thing I
ahead,
want to
Tim.
touch on is that education too. I saw a lot of guys trick off the talent when they got here because they didn't want to go to class. Right, you know, it's a little different because the principal not calling home. Right, like y'all not getting the automated call like the child been absent, truancy coming to the house. Y'all don't get that when y'all get here, right? Like, don't nobody call, the teacher not calling, you missed, you done flunked out, you gotta move on, right? And you will have a lot of coaches who gonna call and check on you and, you know, see where you at, but I've seen a lot of great talent, man, come through here and 2-3 months in, 4 months in, gone. Never saw them again. All because they didn't want to go to class. That was it. Go to class, fellas. Like him, I got my master's. I'm pursuing my doctorate right now. You know, that also is a reflection of what City did for me here, right? What Coach Rush and those guys did for me here. I remember having a talk with Coach Rush in Samoa, and he just said, Timmy, you know, going to the NFL and doing that stuff is amazing, but getting your degree is even better, right? And why not be able to do both? Like, why not be able to play pro ball and have a master's or a doctorate? You know what I mean? And so that stuck with me, right? Because I couldn't read and write the best. I couldn't comprehend the best. I was just a hustler. You know what I'm saying? And man, education is everything, fellas. Just know that. You can't go to the next level without the grades.
Good stuff, guys. Hey, give it up for our panelists.
My brothers, I appreciate you guys coming. I handpicked these guys for a purpose, all right? From the city, from Sweden, East Bay even a little further, and all the way to Stockton. We got a bunch of dudes in here that's from far ways out. We got guys in here from the city. That's the purpose why these guys are here, to show you that there's absolutely no place like city, all right? And we say that, and we wear it on our chest, we wear it on our back. I wear City College on my arm for a reason, and it's because of these guys like this. We appreciate you guys coming. But now going from here, defensive guys go to the locker room. Offensive guys split up with your coaches, take them to the meeting rooms. Everybody good? Good.
Thank you.